Hey family, you know what today is. It is World Changer Wednesday. Nathalie Nelson Parker here, where we are talking to real people who have real stories and they're making a real impact in the world through real solutions. And I'm so excited today because, in light of everything that is happening in the world, over 300 people are without jobs. We are speaking to a world changer today who not only talks the talk, but walks the walk in terms of workforce development and helping people to better understand how to be professionally developed and put their best foot forward. Y'all put y'all virtual hands together and welcome Shay Taylor. Hey girl, hey.
Hey, hey, everybody.
So excited you got to make it today. So Shay and I have been trying to lunch, coffee, see each other in person for the last several weeks.
Who is busy in these streets? I'm telling you.
Signs of someone who is busy doing good things. But I'm so glad we got a chance to hop on virtually. And welcome to World Changer Wednesday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being you asking me to be here because I really am so passionate about this topic you're going to talk about today. So I'm ready for it.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, where you are today, and a little bit about the journey to being Shay.
Ah, so, I'm from, well, I won't say born and raised in Birmingham because I was actually born in Georgia, but I was raised in Birmingham. I've been in Birmingham pretty much my entire life. My mom brought me here when I was 6 weeks old, so I've been here forever. And so, my journey to become being workforce development, HR, just, having a passion for the people and having a passion to see people's lives go to new levels through employment, kind of started when I was at Jacksonville State University kind of by accident, I guess I would say. I've always wanted to be a computer programmer, always, my whole entire life, all through high school. I get to college, I take my first computer programming class, and I sit in that lab for 8 hours working on a program. And I said, this is not for me. So I immediately went to my advisor, and she said, hey, you ought to try human resources. I had never heard of it before, because back in the day it was called personnel. So I was actually, I'm proud to say, on the cusp of them kind of emerging and becoming more about people and culture and all of that. So that's what I did. And from the first class that I took, I loved it. My beginning started with kind of helping organizations strategically align their processes, their HR processes, handbooks, employment, all things HR. But then I began to slowly move into the workforce development piece because I kind of saw where a lot of employees were underdeveloped in a lot of areas. And then I saw some of the injustices that were happening on the job where it pertains to employees, and they're not given a fair shake just because of some things they may not have. And
Mhm.
so that kind of launched me into wanting to make sure that people are prepared to go into the workforce, that they go in bringing their best selves, that they go in, knowing what everybody else knows and have the same opportunities that everyone else has.
That is so amazing. And share a little bit about how you're doing that work now and how you're doing it also in different industries, which I think is really amazing, particularly about the work that you do alongside your husband as well.
Yes. So right now, and this was my great opportunity to meet Nathalie. We are doing a contract with Good Jobs, and we're helping the Good Jobs can. And if you guys don't know what Good Jobs is an amazing program. It is a healthcare initiative where the city of Birmingham came alongside the employers to say, hey, we hear you. We know that you're having a tough time getting the right workforce into your organizations. And so we're going to help you. And so they've trained over 1,000 people to meet the demand for these entry level workforce jobs and healthcare jobs. And I'm so excited about that. That is like one of the best initiatives I've seen in a long, long time. And so Nathalie and I have so graciously been entrusted to do the workforce development piece, and that is to get them prepared for the interview, to get them prepared because they have the skills, but now they need to be prepared to actually go in, do the interviews, and that's kind of where we come in. But the thing I really love though, Nathalie, about the program, because I've been saying this for years, that this program is more holistic than a lot of programs that you see other places, because they have wraparound services. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times it's not just about the technical skill that a person brings to an organization, but it is about their whole life and having whole life goodness and being able, because as being a manager or a leader myself, I want my employees to be able to come, to work with everything that they need so that they can do the best job that they can do. And with Good Jobs, they thought of that and they provided those wraparound services, childcare services, transportation, things that you just never think of. And so that's kind of where I am right now in the corporate arena. When it comes to the ministry arena, which I love so much, we're doing some workforce development initiatives in house where we're trying to we're not necessarily placing people in employment like we're doing with Good Jobs, but we're giving them the tools necessary that they need when they go out to get these jobs. And these are free services where, we bring in experts from all walks, from all organizations, from banking to healthcare, any organization. And we ask them, can you come in and talk to our students and let them know this is what I'm looking for as a manager. This is what I want to see so that when they go out, they are prepared to do what needs to be done. I personally have, in the back of my head, this initiative that I would love to see roll out, which is I would love for us to be able to get into these high schools,
Hmm.
start this process earlier,
Yeah, yeah.
way earlier than what we're starting it. So, junior year, let's help them. Okay, you have a job at McDonald's that you're working. Let me show you how to be more effective with your money so that when the time comes for you to be able to get this job, you have a savings and you can do some things with that savings that can help you in those areas. So,
That's
yes.
so good. Can you talk a little bit about as you're working and you've worked in HR
Mhm.
for over
Okay.
a decade, right?
Oh,
So
like
you
probably 25 years.
so you've seen so many transitions happen, whether it's trends, whether it's what's happening societally or even with the economy. Can you talk a little bit about what you're seeing now, some of the barriers, and what people should keep in mind if they're one of the 300,000, or
Mhm.
if they're a leader of a nonprofit or a ministry and they want to position themselves to be able to help people overcome those barriers and those challenges.
So let me, and I don't like to get on a soapbox, but I'm going to just kind of hang my hat first on civility. I
Mm.
think the trend now that we're seeing is everyone's fighting against each other. There's all this inter-fighting and frustration and all of these things that are happening within these organizations where I'm wanting leaders to raise up to handle that. Diversity and inclusion never goes away. I don't care what we say, what we do, that's not going anywhere. And someone being diverse could be as simple as someone, we could be the same color, but you may have been born in up north and I'm down south. That's a big difference in how we operate. So putting us in the same office could cause all kinds of, ups and downs and emotional roller coasters. So I really think right now we need to get our organizations back to the place where we are people focused, and we're focused on making sure that the organization runs and run properly,
Mhm.
as opposed to, who said what, who's in office, who does this, what, all of that at the end of the day is just causing more problems than not.
Yeah.
Let's get back to what really matters. And these are the people resources. Because I don't care what we say, AI cannot take over everything. The people resources are there. And as organizations, we have to make sure that our people resources are well taken care of. You know, being very inclusive in our cultures. And like I said, it's not a race thing. It's being inclusive of people who are, you have neurodivergent people that are dealing with that. We have mental health issues. All of those things we need to bring under this under the umbrella and say, okay, how do we deal with the culture that we're in right now? Millennials are different. Centennials are different. I say come to work 9 to 5. A centennial says, no, I want to be virtual. Can I work? Can I be flexible? All of these things need to be brought under the umbrella, and the leaders of the organizations need to say, how do we address each and every one of these pieces? I think now some of our leadership has gotten weary and tired.
Mm.
And so I just wish we could get our fresh wind, get a new breath, a new perspective, and focus on what really matters.
That's so good.
Mhm.
So it's such an interesting thing, right? So when you and I started working on this particular project, the first thing we knew we had to do was make data informed decisions. And so we went in a deep dive and looking at the data sets, trying to understand where we are, which is particularly Birmingham, and the state of Alabama. And what we noticed in just in healthcare alone, there were at least listed publicly over what
That
was
was
the number?
3,000.
3,000 jobs just in, and we just looked particularly in the city. So 3,000 jobs, and we're a small, big little, small city, big impact.
Right.
And seeing 3,000 jobs, and on the other hand, we have a host of people who've been trained who are looking at jobs. And so you have employers that have spaces that need to be filled. And then you have people who are desperately looking to be gainfully employed, right? And that's why it's called good jobs. We want to make sure people have good jobs. For
Mhm.
the employer that is looking to find and attract their best talent, and to the potential candidate prospect who is interviewing or looking around. What are the best strategies that you have to offer them for them to be able to reach their goals?
So for us with Good Jobs, my strategy is to make sure that we communicate the program and get the program to the employers. I think there, out there, there's always um, information that's really not the information that we want to get out there. So I always say get in front of it, get in front of the employers, and give them the information about the program. Let them know who we are, what our candidates can bring to the table, and also letting them know meeting the needs of the things that matter to them. Because when I talk to an employer, what matters to you? What do you need out of these candidates? And they may say, I need them to be able to, ace this interview. I need them to be able to get past my coordinators. I need them to be able to, come in and be professional on the job. So it's not, again, like I said, it's not just the technical piece of it. And so my job is to make sure that the employers can get that from the candidates. So then when I get that from the employers, I turn and face the candidates and say, hey, here's what we need to do. And we give them the resources and give them the training that they need in order to meet, so that when they meet, they can mesh.
Very good. So first is communication, right? For employers and for participants, be able to clearly communicate who you
Mhm.
are, what are the opportunities you have or you're looking for, and be able to not sell yourself, but to promote yourself in a way that is consistent and in
Right.
alignment with what your goals are. And then
That's it.
two, training. For those who are participants, making sure they're able to demonstrate how their training helps them to be able to help that organization. And for employers, people are always looking for opportunities to grow. So being able to communicate that
Mm-hmm.
as well. And then third, connect with us. particularly particularly if you are an employer. Can you talk a little bit about what we're doing and why it would be beneficial for employers to connect with the Good Jobs Challenge, particularly as we're working with the path to wellness and prosper?
Absolutely. So, I could see Good Jobs as being sort of a concierge type organization where employers around healthcare employees around the city of Birmingham, they don't even think twice. All they do when they have openings is pick up the phone and say, "Good Jobs, do you have anybody for us?" I would love to see that happen that way. But what we want to offer to the employers is we want to offer them the opportunity to have well-trained candidates and also candidates who are able to upskill, who are able to move within their organization, who will have some longevity within their organization. The thing I love about what Good Jobs has done is the training that they've offered to the candidates. All of those jobs can be upskilled to the next level. And then they can go to the next level and then the next level. So they literally can stay in that pathway until they retire, if they want to stay that long. So that's what I want all the employers to see. And I want them to be able to understand this is what we're offering you. We are offering you longevity for your organization because everybody knows that turnover is expensive. We're offering you this longevity. We're offering you the ability to create your succession plans where I have a CNA that's coming in, but she eventually wants to go to nursing school. So she's going to move from the CNA. She's going to become a PCT for me, and then she's going to move. But I still can retain her in my organization. And so now my succession plan is I get someone from the ground level and I can build them all the way to the top. That is amazing for an organization if they really stop and think about it. There are so many, like we said, healthcare jobs that are out there, and we have people that can fill those jobs and that can make it so easy for you. I remember as a recruiter when I worked at UAB Hospital, I would have loved because I had quotas that I had to meet on a weekly basis.
Right?
Yes, at that time, the workforce was there, it just wasn't there. And I remember trying to fill these healthcare positions. And I would have loved to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Shay, do you have any PCTs you can send over here to me? Already trained." Now, of course, we do let as the candidates as well as the employees know we do understand there is a training piece within their organization, because you do have to kind of be trained to know the organization. So, but you got the people who know the basics. And I'm telling any employee, if they would do that, it would be amazing. Oh, it would be amazing. This would be an amazing program for any employer. I guarantee it would.
Absolutely. And we're super excited because we're actually not too long from today going to have an event where we're going to be able to curate that experience of providing professional development for participants to help them move from their path to wellness to placement in healthcare. But also, we're going to curate opportunities for those employers to get in front of possibly their next best hire.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the event that we're having in person and what people should expect and why they should participate?
I am really excited about this event. And so, if you are an employer out there, please make sure you take note and you register because we're going to put the information out here for you guys to register for that. But it's going to be an in-person event, and it's an opportunity for us to connect you with the candidates or the candidates with you as an employer so that you can see what's out there, what our program is about. The candidates get an opportunity to actually talk with the employer so that they can know and hear from the employer, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I need. And then I'm hoping that there's some connection that comes out of that where the employer says, hey, let me get your information and I'm going to follow up with you at a later date. I'm expecting this to be a major connection for the candidates and the employers to be able to understand what good jobs is all about and to see that our program really is a Cadillac program when it comes to training candidates and individuals to meet those needs of our employers.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited to be a part of this work and to be a part of something that's really making an impact now, more than ever, right? Something like this means the world when you think about not only organizations as they're seeking to thrive, as they're seeking to grow, become more sustainable, provide opportunities for gainful employment, but also for those who are growing personally in their lives, professionally, as they're making a leap into finding healthcare careers. So thank you, Shay, for taking the time to be with us today. It's been a pleasure working with you as well as our extended team and all of the amazing people that are part of the Good Jobs Challenge initiative, as well as Prosper Path to Wellness. All right, friends, thank you again. Remember, no matter who you are, no matter where you are in your journey, you are able to change the world. So keep doing that, world changer. See you next time. Hey, friends, I'm Nathalie Nelson Parker, and she is.
Shay Taylor.
And we are here to tell you not only do you need to check out World Changer Wednesday, but you need to stop what you're doing and join us. If you are an employer in the healthcare field and you are looking to get your next best hire, make sure you register for Prosper Movement live and in person at Innovation Depot. We want to see you there. Click the link and register today.